the pictures of innocence, a beautiful newborn baby girl. But these images are part of one of the cruelest crimes of the heart we've ever seen.
I think my first reaction is obviously, just outrage and anger.
Ryan Coker is baby Eden's father, but the woman posting these pictures is not her mother, even though she's claiming the newborn is her own.
It's basically kind of like a catfishing story, Our daughter was catfished.
Taking baby Eden's identity adds to the agony Ryan and his wife Megan have already endured. They lost little Eden shortly after Megan gave birth.
I knew when she was born it would be the end.
Megan and Ryan knew their baby girl would never leave the hospital.
If we had 60 seconds or 60 years, we're going to love her all the same.
What they had was 40 precious minutes.
And she took really big gasps of air.
It's something that's going to stay with me forever. Feeling her stop fighting while I'm holding her in my arms.
Since learning she was pregnant with her first child, Megan Coker had a feeling something was wrong.
She said, I have to step out and get the doctor.
21 weeks into her pregnancy, her feeling was confirmed.
He came back in and told us that he thought that it was congenital diaphragmatic hernia.
He brought us back in there and he said this is often fatal.
But at 24 weeks, the Cokers got the final devastating news.
They said this is a bilateral form of CDH, and that means that this is 100% fatal.
The Corkers decided to go ahead with the pregnancy. As the weeks progressed, they bonded with the baby girl they named Eden.
It was just surreal. It felt like an out-of-body experience.
When the day came to deliver, the couple wanted the birth of their baby to be as joyful as any other.
We were there to celebrate the birth of a child and leave the mourning of the death of our child until after she died.
Their family all gathered at the hospital, along with the photographer from the nonprofit Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep.
We made plans to have memories to take home with us when Eden was born, after Eden was born, and whenever we needed to feel close to her.
Captured forever in these photos.
I was really thankful for the pictures.
But now they say their precious pictures have been taken and exploited.
And I told her that I had some disturbing news.
That disturbing news came from a group called Cherubs. The Cokers had joined to help deal with their grief of losing Eden.
The most beneficial part to me of Cherubs was the online community. They have groups for parents of children who died.
But 6 months after Eden's death, and just as Megan miscarried her second baby, the charity's founder called with even more bad news.
And I told her that it seemed that there was another supposed CDH mom who had taken Eden's photos and were passing them off as her daughter.
My initial thought was, it's a mix-up.
It was no mix-up. A woman in North Dakota was posting pictures of Eden all over social media, claiming it was actually her daughter Parker.
How could somebody do that to a baby that has passed away?
The woman had hung a picture of Eden on her wall, even had one taken with Santa. But that's not the worst of it.
We found, a gravesite and other things that they had done, like in the name of, their little girl that lost, or that they lost, and they didn't lose anybody.
For someone to take it to the extreme to bury a casket and say that there is a child in it is unfathomable to me.
Megan contacted police in North Dakota. Sadly, they told her there was nothing they could do. Taking baby Eden's identity may have been immoral, but unbelievably, it wasn't illegal.
They said, it's not that she's committed any crime against you, because it was the identity of our daughter. So it wasn't our identity. And she didn't have any monetary gain from us. So basically what the police said was, we can't help you.
Devastated, the Cokers claim they tried reaching the woman directly. They say an email was answered by her husband, who maintains it was all a big mistake.
He said back to me was, my wife has already contacted you, and we immediately questioned the amount of hair. No further action is necessary.
It clearly wasn't immediate, right?
You continued posting pictures.
She was posting them. I mean,
Yeah.
wouldn't you know that that's not your child?
Instead of calling the photographer that gave you these pictures, or I don't know, just taking the pictures off the wall would be a start.
Police say they were never able to determine if the woman was ever even pregnant or lost a child. Megan suspects not.
Moms who lose their babies really care about other moms who lose their babies.
So why was she doing this? We tried to contact the woman posting Little Eden's pictures to ask her, but never got a response. The Cokers say all of this has made it that much more difficult to deal with their beautiful little girl's death and hold on to the memories of those 40 precious minutes with Eden.
Read her a book that, was our favorite book to read to her while she was still inside the womb.
I was able to hum our little song, You Are My Sunshine, and she went really peacefully and quietly. And it felt like 5 seconds. It didn't feel like 40 minutes.
But the Cokers say they will not let this go quietly. They plan to keep investigating, and if they find out she took baby Eden's identity for monetary gain, they promise they'll do everything they can to prosecute.
I hope she's at peace with what she's done, because she has to live with herself.
What this woman allegedly did to Megan and Ryan, if intentional, is certainly despicable. So how is this not considered a crime? Here to explain the frustrating circumstances surrounding this case is Crime Watch Daily legal analyst Jesse Weber. Jesse, as always, thanks for being here.
Grabbing it.
There's no evidence that this woman made money on this, but at the same time, it seems like it should be against the law.
I agree with you, but let's talk about the money. Because she's not using it for commercial purpose, she's not getting any financial gain, it might not rise to the level of illegal conduct. The other factor is, it's not the parent's identity in question here, it's that of their deceased child, so that's an issue. And finally, when you post to a social media site, that is a public posting, and when you do that, you effectively limit the rights you would normally have to how those images are used and shared.
But this is one of those cases, Jesse, where it's just not right.
I agree with you. It's terrible to watch, and I wish that the law would change on this. We're talking about taking an image of a deceased child. That's a family's nightmare. And,
It's horrifying.
And what you really would want to see is new laws that mirror child endangerment laws, child online privacy laws. Give the parents or legal guardians a right to sue on the behalf of the children.
In child pornography cases, every viewing of an image is considered a crime because it's the abuse of a child. Isn't this somewhat the same?
I agree with you, because if people are creating fake accounts of children or taking those images of children and doing things with them in exploitative nature, what is the difference? You're exploiting the child.
It's exploitation either way.
Exploiting the child, and you're creating a danger too. So why not criminalize this behavior? Give parents or their legal guardians a right to sue on their behalf, even for deceased children, because we have to treat, and we already do in the law, treat children, minors differently than everyone else.
Now, we want to hear from you. Do you think it should be illegal to use pictures of someone else's children and claim them as your own? Sound off right now on our Facebook page.